Hi, I'm Matt from tracingmatt.co.uk, in front of the camera rather than behind it for a change. Just recording a video for you because we're often asked about the photographs that we take for the website, for the reviews that we do and the product shots and things like that. And we're asked if they're our own photographs or if we actually use professional or studio photography or whatever. The basic answer is that we use a light tent and our own digital SLR camera, and I personally take the photographs for the majority. Now, you can achieve this in a number of different ways. This is the way we used to do things with a very cheap cube or photo tent, sometimes known as a light box. This is one that we bought in the early days from eBay for about, I think it was about £10, and you can get various sizes. This is I think it's a 30cm, which is ideal for small products like mobile phones and that sort of thing. You want a bigger one if you're going to take photographs of laptops and stuff like that. And we do have a 50cm cube for laptops and that sort of stuff. But this is, as I say, 30cm. The idea here is you basically put your products inside the tent and you shoot through from the inside. Now, this is obviously the basic one, so that you can put it on a table. And in a room like this, we could probably get away without using any other additional lighting if we want to, depending on what we're photographing and the conditions and everything else. And also the contrast. If we're taking a photograph of, say, something that's dark, say this particular phone which is virtually black, that will work inside there quite happily, probably without any lights. We may want to use lighting if the conditions aren't good, or if we're trying to get some particular shot. The idea is that once we adjust our levels, we can actually virtually white out the background and just have the handset actually shown in the photograph. This is fine, and this, if you're trying to do this at home or whatever, then something like that is probably adequate. It even comes with different backgrounds normally, so you've got blue, black, and obviously white, and red. Now, you want to use white if you're taking dark photographs or a high key. What you might want to do for, say, a white handset or white laptop, or even a silver, is you might want to go for a black or a blue background rather than the white, because the contrast between the silver and the white and the actual black background and the white background is obviously a world of difference. Now, the reason I wanted to obviously really show you the video is that we've recently got this Lastolite Studio Cube, so I just want to put it together and show you how that works, and then obviously tell you a little bit about the differences. So this is how you receive your Lastolite Studio Cube rather. All comes in this one package, with the exception of the backdrop here, which comes in this tube. So I'll just actually assemble it now. It's actually slightly difficult to assemble on your own, but it is possible, as I'm hopefully going to demonstrate. So everything comes in this Velcro bag with a series of poles, which are made of aluminium, quite lightweight. We'll need those in a second. And then get the cube itself, which is just there. And also inside, we have a cover that goes over the front. I'll talk to you about that in just a moment once we finish assembling the cube. Now, two types of poles here in the box. You've got the black and the silver ones. So first of all, take the black ones, and I'll go up the camera and sort of show you what these are. As I say, these are poles notched on the ends. Now that's so that you can actually use that to assemble the cube. So I'll just show you how that goes together. As I say, not the easiest thing to do on your own. But these just pop inside here. As we work around. Just do the other side. Okay, so that's the bottom half assembled, which gives us a nice working height platform. When we actually lift the top up, you'll see that in just a moment, but that's a nice working height for putting our stuff onto photograph. This is actually the back, and I've done it deliberately, so I can show you the back first. And inside here we can put an additional light source, so whether that be a continuous light or a flash, that can actually be put inside here. And it's actually quite reflective in there. It's actually a smooth finish, and it's very white, as you can see. So when the flash or the light source is inside, it should give us an even light from underneath. And I'll show you inside in just a moment. Let me assemble the top part. Okay, let's say we look at the back here, so just spin this round. And there we go. Show you from the other side. Now, the idea here is obviously we put the product we want to photograph in here. This is obviously a fairly large tent. I think it's this is basically the 1 metre version. So ideal for anything up to and including laptops and possibly smaller PCs. Will go in there quite happily. Inside we have this clear perspex disc, which is what we actually use as a platform to put our products on. Because obviously inside is made of fabric, which isn't very strong, so if you put anything heavy inside it will just deform. So we actually sit it on this disc, which sits inside just like that, give us our platform to work on. As I say, nice height, which is ideal. But then we actually have our backdrop. Now, unlike the backdrops that I've worked with on other cheaper products, say the cubes that we've had from eBay, the backdrop is actually made of a semi-transparent, almost like a vellum or a film. Now this is cut specifically to shape, to fit inside the cube, and actually sits inside, Velcro at the top, holds it in place. And lays out just like so. It's actually a little bit shorter than you possibly might think it would be. Now what I mean by that is that it isn't long enough to go all the way down the back and all the way along the bottom right into the back corner. Now that's deliberate because it gives you a seamless backdrop to photograph against. When you're taking a shot, you're not going to get a line across the back that you'll have to Photoshop out. So with this curve, it's much easier to take photographs against. Now with this setup, as I say, I'm in obviously a fairly bright conservatory here. It's not a very bright day, but even so, it's quite well lit. I probably could, for the most part, get away without using any additional lighting, especially taking shots of, say, a mobile phone which is laying flat on the table inside. I'm not going to get too many shadows. And also because it's a fairly dark object, I can white out the background fairly easily using levels in Photoshop or whatever. But if you're probably sort of a bit more of a pro, then you're going to want additional lighting. Now additional lighting setups would probably include one light at the side, one light at the other side, possibly one above, depending on what you're photographing, and then probably one underneath. Now the advantage of using one underneath, which you can do with this particular Lastolite cube setup, is that you don't get any shadows from underneath the object. So if you've got something that's not sitting perfectly flat on the bottom, you won't get any shadow underneath. You'll actually get a nice floaty, an object almost suspended in a complete white background. So that's quite a cool setup. The only other thing we've got in this particular kit, because this is the sort of more basic kit, just the tent and the backdrop and also the discs and everything else. They do a kit that includes some additional lighting. I think there's a flash kit, there's a continuous lighting kit. Obviously this will work with both. If you've got your own, perfect. And even you might want to even try it, with some halogen lighting. I know people have had success with using like cheap halogen lighting. So the other thing we get inside the pack here is this strange Velcro at each end and 2 zips. 2-zip arrangement there. Idea here is we get our object, just touch, we put it inside and we set it how we want it, and then we put up our blind here, like so. Yep, and then we get our camera, obviously on tripod, and we arrange that in front, like so. We get that set up, and then we just get this just right, and we adjust those zips, which is a little bit fiddly to do. Adjust those zips just around the lens, so aiming it through, taking a bit more time than I am. There, just like so. So our lens is just pointing through the hole that we've just made in this zip curtain arrangement, and obviously they're holding it all around there like that. The idea here is that you're not standing behind the camera. If you've got anything reflective that you're taking photographs of, such as the screen on a laptop or a mobile phone, you're not going to appear in the shot. The very most that you're going to see reflected in the shot is actually the reflection of the lens poking through the curtain, nothing else. So it's got that advantage there, and also that's all you're going to get the reflection of. Rather than taking the photograph straight on, you can angle it slightly so you don't even see the lens pointing through. So you will literally get no reflections in there apart from a reflection of something white. So when you're actually doing your photoshopping and everything else, it's very easy to do. As I say, this is the Lastolite Photo Cube. This is a bit more high-end. If you're just doing basic photography and just doing your own personal shots and everything else, then I guess, you know, one of these cheap cubes, as I mentioned earlier on, it's probably going to be ideal. You can get these from sort of like £5 or £6 upwards. I think this one was about £10, including postage. And they do go up to very large cubes that you can actually get a whole person in, so that's quite a good arrangement, and they're not very expensive. But if you want something a bit better, it's a little bit more predictable, it gives you a nice working height, you can illuminate from underneath, and it's sort of like self-contained, and you can just assemble this. As I say, I've done it in less than 10 minutes, including all the babbling that I've been doing. This is quite a good arrangement. This is a Lastolite 1 metre Studio Cubelite, which you can obviously see on the Lastolite website, and various other places actually sell it. This is our favourite arrangement at the moment. Most of the product photography we're doing is done in the Lastolite Cube now, and we're really happy with the results. Thanks for watching. We'll have some more reviews, and obviously the setup that we're using here, you can see some shots on tracyandmac.co.uk, and we'll be back with some other reviews very soon. Thanks for watching.